Hello, thanks for stopping by. I'm Sally Allen, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up, and I'm stamping with gas. Welcome to Fabulous Friday. Today I'm going to show you how to make this fabulously simple card for Mother's Day. So let's get started. All of the measurements will be on my blog as well, so if you don't catch them as you play this video, you can find them there at stampingwithgas.com. Okay, so for this card, you'll need the card. I've used mint macaron, and you can use any color you want, any coordinating, that you have, the ink and the paper and the ribbon. So have a party. I have used mint macaron in a basic card cut here. So you want to cut your basic card at 8.5 by 5.5 and then score at 4 1/4. That's your basic card. Then you want so here's your basic card. Then you want a piece of 4 by 5 1/4, and you want to texturize that. And I'll show you how I've done that. And then you're going to need some pieces of, I used Very Vanilla, 3.5 by 5 to cut this band, and 4 by 5 1/4 for your inside greeting. And then a piece of about 2 by 4 for these ovals on the front. And then you'll need a strip, and you'll see mine, and I've just got an oval cut out of there. And I'll show you how I'm going to use that to mask for the greetings. All right, so let's get started. We'll set this aside here. So I already have my piece of texturized, my first layer I'm calling it, that goes on the front of my card. And I used the subtle dynamic textured impressions folder, and this is on the last chance list, so if you don't have one, you might want to get it. I use this thing so much. I'm not sure I'm going to get rid of it. Just a little tip here, whenever I get a new folder, I cut out the little description of what it is, the name of it, and what kind of folder it is, because that'll help you when you go to do your embossing. Then you know it's the dynamic, or sometimes it'll say 3D, then you'll know the different shims that you need for your embossing machine, whatever kind you have. The new Stampin Up cut and emboss machine, I call mine Rhonda, it has the markings right on the different plates so that you can't mistake. So these come in even handier than ever. Plus, if somebody asks you what folder is that, boom, there you have it right there. You don't have to look it up. All right, so I've done that. I've done my texture. And now we want to take this piece here and cut out the label. And I'll show you the set that we're going to use to do that. It is called Detailed Bands dies. And I get that shine. Okay, so Detailed Bands dies, and this is the largest die that's in the set here. It's this one. And we're also going to use this little oval that comes out of here. Now this set is also on the last chance list for $15.20. The original price was $38. I really love this set. It's so versatile. Not sure what I'm going to do without it. Okay, so then we'll take that 3 by 5.5 piece. It'll fit right on there. Go ahead and leave the tabs, and I'll show you how we're going to use those. So here's what it looks like, all cut out. And it's going to go on top of this textured piece a little bit up. We want to we don't want it dead center. We want it a little bit up to the top. And now you're going to take some ribbon, and whatever ribbon coordinates with the colors you've chosen. And I've chosen this ribbon, and it's going to retire. You can still get it out of the annual catalog. It's called, and again, I mark my ribbon because when they come in a pack, they don't mark them, so you don't know what they are. This is Flowers for Every Season combo pack, and you get this white kind of linen looking ribbon. You get this adorable gingham sort of ribbon, and then you get this baker's twine, kind of a silvery baker's twine. So for today's project, we're going to use this checkered ribbon here, and I just need enough to fold over the edge of that top layer, however much that is for you. And then you want to take it and, I'm sorry, not come up, but go down. And I find it easier to go down this fat part and then just kind of work it in there. Otherwise, you're trying to come up through that tiny little spot. So I want to go through the back. I suppose you could come up over because you're going to cover that up with a greeting anyway. But I find this just a little bit easier. All right, so now, and I didn't get this quite poked out. Just get that, got that now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue. Oops. And those of you who know me know I'm a liquid glue person. So I'm going to put a little bit of my Tombow here. Not a lot. Sometimes I get heavy-handed. Don't mean to. And again, kind of, and this is why I like the liquid glue, because I can move it around and get it exactly where I want it. So I think that looks good right there. So now I'm going to flip it over, but this time I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal, and this is our new that replaced the snail and the other one. I forget what the other one was. This is Stampin' Seal Plus. See the little plus sign? And I didn't realize that for the longest time. I kept looking for the word plus. The only thing, I really like this. It's much friendlier than the older products. I don't like the way this is separate. I know I'm going to lose it eventually, and then my glue's going to get stuck on something. I'm just going to put a little piece there and a little piece there, just to grab my ribbon. Okay. Okay. So that's how we want that to look. And now we want to put that on the front of our card. There's no reason we're not going to do anything else. There's no reason we can't go ahead and commit and glue this down. All right. So you see how quickly this card is coming together and how simple it is. And it never fails. I'll get some glue. I have my trusty little glue eraser there. All right. And it's on my finger, so everything I touch, I get glue. All right, so now I'm just going to set this aside, because what we want to do now, and let me put my dies over to the side so I don't lose those. Put my ribbon out of my way here. So now I want to take this scrap of, or not scrap, but smaller piece of paper, and I want to make, what did I do with my card? I want to make this oval right here. And the stamp set that I used is Oval Occasions, and it's a stamp set or a bundle. And the bundle comes with this stamp set and this punch, the two punches. So all the ovals, everything on this stamp set, I don't know if you can see it because I don't have my camera far enough away. You can cut with these punches, but it also happens to fit with the Detailed Bands dies, and that's what we're going to use to cut the matching oval right here on the Detailed Bands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little pair of mama and baby bunnies. Now you can leave it this way if you think that represents Mother's Day. That's just fine. I did use these for Easter and they were adorable. So I'm going to show you how to do it to put Happy Mother's Day in there like that. So what we're going to do is get the bunny and the mama stamp and some Memento ink, and you'll need some adhesive. I always want to say Scotch tape, and I know if that's a brand name, and we're really not supposed to say that, but just cellophane tape like you use to wrap gifts. All right, so first I want to ink up my, get this out of the way so I don't get black ink on it. I want to ink up my stamp like so, and then here's where the tape comes in. I'm going to get a piece of tape and I'm going to cover up the bunny and the bunny mom. And that just about does it. There actually is a little flower. Oh no, that's not a flower. I'm sorry. That's the bunny bottom little tail. All right, so I'm going to use another piece there just to, and I only want to cover up the rabbits. So now I'm going to stamp on my piece of paper. So I have the flowers and lines, but not the rabbits. So that's how I did that. All right, I'm going to set this aside. And now I'm going to take the Happy Mother's Day. These are also still available from the mini catalog, but when the new catalog goes live, these will no longer be available. All right. Wrapped Bouquet is another one that is a bundle, or you can buy them individually. And I'm going to use the Happy Mother's Day stamp out of here. And so, like I said, this is also a bundle, so you can get the dies that match the stamps. And that's in the mini catalog. So I have my Happy Mother's Day mounted, a little bit crooked. Let me get that on there straight. So ink that up good, and then get that right where the bunnies used to be. And there we have it. So now I'll get this Memento ink out of my way, and the reason I used Memento is because now we're going to use Stampin Blends to color the little flowers. I'm just going to make the flowers pink. Now that we have this all colored, we're going to step over to Rhonda and use the oval die from the Detailed Band set and cut that out. I finished cutting that now, and I'm going to put my dies away. I keep a standing cookbook holder with magnets on it, and when I'm using my dies, say I'm making a whole bunch of these, rather than put them away every time or risk losing them, I stick them on that magnet, and then when I go to put everything away at night, I know that I have all the pieces that belong in that set. Another little tip for you. All right, so now for this, we're going to mount it with some dimensionals, and I'll use a couple of regular size dimensionals. And again, you can see how quickly this card is going together. So you see how that oval matched perfectly with that oval occasions stamp. All right, so now if you have a stamp set, there is one called Family Party. It's in the annual catalog, and it has different words: mom, dad, grandma, grandpa. It has some numbers. I have a very old set called Family Reunion, and I just really love this mom, and so just this word mom is probably the reason I'm going to keep that stamp set forever. So forgive me. I'm going to go back to my little, now this time I'm going to use, instead of Memento, I'm going to use my Mint Macaron ink and stamp mom. Okay, so now you'll get to see the punch. And I'm going to center that right in there. So that's the punch that goes with the Oval Occasions bundle. And I think it's an adorable set. Now on my original card, I also cut another oval and I off-centered it just to give it a little dimension there. I didn't want a bigger oval, the ruffled one here. I didn't want one that big behind here, so I just used a scrap piece of Very Vanilla, and I cut another oval just exactly the same size. And I'm just going to glue that one down. Right about there. And then I'm going to pop mom up with a couple of dimensionals. So you can see we haven't been working very long, and you can see how, of course, let's get stumped by removing the, that just doesn't want to come off. The dimensionals backing there. And now I'm just going to go, you can play with it however, wherever your detailed bands lies there. So I'm just going to off-center that. So that's how I gave that a little bit of dimension. All right. Now the last thing is you can put, well, not the last thing, but you can put a bow on the front, and you can put it here, here. Play with it, because you know, and I know, that when you go to put this on your card, it's not going to be in exactly the same place every single time. So play with your bow, and let me show you some samples of the bow being in a different place. So here I have a pink and blue one, and I put the bow underneath, and I didn't put a greeting there. Here I put the bow underneath, and I have a greeting here, like in the card we're doing today. And then here's the difference between using white and Very Vanilla on a blue card. And I really like this ribbon too, and it makes a really nice double bow. So now you're going to ask me, how did you do this one? Well, let me show you that so we can get our bow on there. So here's what we're going for here, is that little person. So I didn't throw this away on purpose, because this is going to become my mask. And of course, I need to grab a piece of, here, I have one right here. So I'll show you how we're going to do this. Okay, so this is going to be my mask right here. You can see how I've stamped. So I'm just going to put it there, and you can use a sticky note or a piece of washi tape or whatever you like to use to hold down that piece of paper, that mask. So I'll just use, get it on there. It doesn't have to be extremely straight, but you don't want it to move while you're stamping. So the stamp that I'm going to use is this one from the Oval Occasions, and I'm going to use my Memento again because I'm going to color them, as you can see in my sample. So I want to get this lined up with the edge of that oval, because remember, this oval is the one from the Detailed Bands dies, and the other oval is from the punch. So this is why I'm using the mask here. Otherwise, I could stamp it first and then cut it out with the punch. So that looks pretty good. And if it's not, you can try again. It's kind of an art. So now I'm going to use the Happy Mother's Day from the Wrapped Bouquet. And I just put the lid on my, or no, is that what yeah, that's what I want to use. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so now I'm going to get my Happy Mother's Day and try to get the day and the H on happy in there. And I think I did it. So now I'm going to use my oval and set that on there, cut it out, and color it. So that's how you use a mask to get two stamp sets working together with a die that really wasn't meant for that stamp set. So it was really not that hard. Didn't take me very long at all. So if you like this better than the one we did, or just change it up. You can add some pearls on the front. You can do whatever kind of embellishments you want. And then you need that 5, I have sticky notes everywhere here. You can use that 4 by 5 1/4, stamp any greeting that you like. I tell you, here's another one that's going to go away, and I don't know what I'm going to do without it. And it's the Strong and Beautiful. And so there's a lovely Happy Mother's Day. God made you my mother. Love made you my friend. You're like a diamond, resilient, strong, and beautiful. Just all kinds of things for birthdays, Mother's Day. You could use it for your daughters. I just love this stamp set. So Strong and Beautiful, that's another one that you can get in the annual catalog, and I love this stamp set. So that's how we made this card very quickly. Thanks for stopping by.